What's up, guys, and welcome back to another edition of Competitive Edge Podcast. So today, I actually got to hear Chance speak a few years ago at one of our mutual friends, Ben Newman's conference. And I remember I've been following some of the stuff he was doing, and I'm listening from the stage, and right away, I'll just say, if somebody knows their craft and they actually are giving you a bunch of crap, or they're actually somebody that's a student of the game and learning. And I knew right away, I was like, okay, I need to figure out what he's doing around marketing, social media, branding, digital, all of these things that truthfully I'm not great at. And I am usually looking to someone else to go, how do I learn? So if that's you today, all of our mortgage and real estate people and financial services, you're going to want to tune into this because most of you know the importance of building a brand. But do you know how to properly market yourself today and differentiate yourself in a world that's kind of commoditized? And so I followed Chance Weber and his group and what he's been doing over 15 years, building out his own company, and really someone that I've seen evolve. And even before we went live, some of the conversations you're going to want to be privy to because there's a lot of noise out there. And today we're going to cut through some of that, give you some tactical advice, but help you position yourself to win more. Wouldn't that be great? You win more, you serve more customers, make more money, you'll have more fun. So Chance, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. That was a great intro. I love that. Nailed it.
I speak from the heart and the head. I tell people is be authentic. And I meant every word. Like, dude, when I heard you speak, one, you were a really good speaker, which most of us, we're not speakers. And so that was something interesting. But what I loved even then was I could tell you were a student. Like the things that you would share and the things that you went through, it wasn't like, hey, I think this will work. Hey, you might want to try this. You're like, no, this is what we tried. This didn't work. This did work. This is the way we're going. So I love to kind of take people back a little bit, right? Because I think they might miss the last decade plus that you've been doing this. Sure. And just a quick little background about how you even got into the space, because I'm always fascinated by that. Like, did it pick you? Did you choose it? Like, what was the desire there?
Yeah, man, it's a funny story. So I joined the corporate world right out of college, just like most people. Took a job actually as a financial advisor. So got all those fun licenses, did that. I was actually pretty damn successful, but I hated it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't my place. I still got a lot of friends that are in that world. It's nothing. It's just me. It wasn't me. So got out of it. Got into recruiting and financial services. So I did that for a while. Also didn't like it. But at that time, I got recruited by I'll say an acquaintance from college. We knew of each other, but we didn't know each other. Definitely weren't like on a friendship level. And he had a digital marketing agency, and he started to recruit me in to help him with business development. And I was kind of at a rock bottom point in life, man. Like, I was somewhat successful, we'll say, but I was living in Chicago, very expensive city, and I was essentially broke. Even making $60,000, $75,000, and this was 15 to 20 years ago. Like, that was quite a bit of money back then, and it's like even then I was just struggling, messed up my credit score, kind of was at a rock bottom point in life at 29 years old, and these guys started recruiting me into their agency, and I was like, man, like. At that point, I'll never forget it. I had this moment. I've been talking to them on the phone for like a month, but I was like, at that point, man, I had a 483 credit score, which is hard to even comprehend. And these guys were trying to recruit me, and I was 29 years old. I'm like, I'm looking at 30, and this is where I'm at in my life right now. Like, I'm better than this. Yeah. It was really a rock bottom point. I always say that the most dangerous place in the world that somebody can be, for anybody that's listening to this that thinks that they're in rock bottom, that is the most powerful place in the world to be. When you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, a lot of pressure comes off your back. When you get down the road and you have a family and bills and mortgages and all this other stuff, it all changes, right? But at that point, I was a single dude, 29 years old, nothing to lose, everything to gain. And I decided to leverage that. And I'd become super interested in what these guys were doing. True story. First book I ever read in my industry was SEO for Dummies. And that would have been like 17 years ago. I would love to go back and read that book now, because I'm sure literally 0% of it is relevant to today's SEO environment. But read that book and I decided, you know what? I can do this on my own. What do I have to lose? So I borrowed $15,000 from my parents. I do not come from any kind of money at all. They put a lien on my car that was probably worth $10,000. And that is what I used to start my company. And now it's a multi-million-dollar company. And, it's been pretty awesome. It's been a great journey, but yeah, man, it's year 15 for me. So I've been doing this for a long time now.
And I love the story too, because I know we have a lot of younger listeners and people listening are like, they're just not sure. Is this for them? Is this something that they should continue on? And both of us, we started in corporate world. I spent almost 13 years at Wells Fargo in the bank side and mortgage and all that. I'm like, I just knew corporate life wasn't for me. I wasn't sure what would kind of happen next. But to your point, 07, 08, when our first two kids were born, hitting rock bottom and everything, losing my job, all that stuff. I relate when you shared that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I know it still hurts. I can still feel that pain right now. When I tell the story, I'm like, man, I remember that, and that hurts. Like, and sometimes we got to pull ourselves back to those times when we go through the struggles now. Yeah. It's like, I literally feel like people say this all the time and it's like cliche, but I can tell you, like, I literally prayed endlessly to be where I'm at right now. So when I have a problem now, I need to get grounded real quick, because that problem was unexplainable in comparison to any problems I have now. And trust me, I'm an entrepreneur. I still have problems every day, just like everybody else.
That's right.
But yeah, man, these, the problems now are the problems I prayed for. Like, that's, the truth.
Yeah. And we hear that. And sometimes it's good for people to hear where you came from. And so I want to start there, just kind of set the framework for where you've been, where you are. I also love this. Before we move past that, I was like, if you were to give your younger self advice back to Chance 30 years old, what would you tell yourself back then, wish you had known in that season? Yeah, man, I would probably go pre-30, but even at 30, because, I think we all have this like journey in our younger 20s. We got to we're still learning who we are, figuring it out and all the things. But man, the biggest thing that I would do is I would tell somebody is fear is such a debilitating emotion. Fear is just debilitating. And I didn't believe in myself because I was consumed by fear. And if you want to make it quote unquote big and be, societally successful, right? You look at guys like you and I, a lot of people would look at us and say we're very successful people, and we are successful. And sometimes I have to remind myself of that when I'm constantly chasing more. But you and I both know people personally that are, what you and I probably make an income in a year. We personally know guys that make that in a week, 2 weeks, and it's like, there's levels to the game, but sometimes I have to look back and go, man, this is, I should be proud of where I'm at. But to answer your question directly, if I could do it all over again, the first thing that I would have done, and this is so easy in today's world with social media, is I would have found a mentor. I would have DM'd every single person that was where I wanted to be and ask somebody to work with me. And even if I had to offer something, like, I look back at it, if I could have had somebody that had a huge marketing agency back in the day, if I would have given them and said, look, I have nothing. I have literally nothing. I have no company. I'll give you 5% equity in my company to help me. Here's what I think. Here's what I want to do. Where would I be right now? Yeah. To give up 5%? Like, I would probably be multiples the size that I am, because the first several years in business are never easy and glamorous. You know what I mean? So that would be what I would do. And, a lot of people might tell you no, a lot of people might not respond. Just to keep going until you find somebody that's willing to take a chance on you, that's willing to give you the time, that's willing to mentor and guide you. Because now I look at people that I've had in my life that have guided me and consulted and paid groups and you name it. Man, like, what the impact that's done on me over the last 7 to 8 years. I mean, it's worth 10 times the money that I paid, and I've invested. We're talking 7 figures into like personal development here. It's worth 10 times more than that. That's right. So I would have done that in the beginning. That would be the number one thing I would tell somebody is go find that person that has what you want and get help, get guidance. It goes a long ways, man. So underrated. I love that. That's like the advice I wish I had too, and I had some great mentors, some great coaches along the way, people like that. But I love that you share that, because later, and probably led into my 40s, that I figured out, I was like, well, these guys are further along. They figured out this part of their life. And you get around them and you realize, okay, it's not that hard. There's a lot of work to it. There's a lot of time invested in different things, but they just knew things that I didn't know. And so, man, I love that. So for anybody listening, doesn't matter what age you are, where you are and all that, just encourage you, get in the right rooms, get the right mentor. I think, Chance, that's the thing that I look back on. If I were to pick moments where, okay, I did go to the next level, whatever that looked like for me, is like, there was a person.
Yeah. There was always a person. And I would,
Yeah.
the other thing I would say, just to piggyback on that real quick, is you said, whatever age you are, I think that's so important, man. Like, so many people that are our age now, they think like, I'm in my 40s, this it's over, like this, I am what I am. No, you're not. Like, you can look at some of the most wealthy, I think like Warren Buffett or something, he didn't have like $1 million year until he was like 40 something, like upper 40s or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not too late. Like, if you're 50, it's not too late. People think that you got a lot of time left, like, it's not like you're going to retire at 52. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know how people retire at all, to be honest. I'll never retire completely, but yeah, man, it's never too late. It's not just the young guys, it's the old guys too. Like, swallow your pride, be humble. And if you got to go find if you're 50 and you have a killer that's 30, go get the 30-year-old to help you. Swallow your pride. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to be the best person you can be, make the most money you can be, most successful, all the things.
Hey guys, it's Brian here. I hope you are enjoying the show. By the way, if you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur looking to grow your personal brand, make a bigger impact, maybe increase your leads and grow your revenue, let's help you get started today by connecting up with my friends over at the Brand Builders Group. You've heard me talk about them, but if you're new here, this is definitely the first step to get you started in turning your reputation into revenue. Head over to freebrandcall.com/Brian Covey. Again, to set up your free brand call, go to freebrandcall.com/Brian Covey to set up a free strategy call with one of the team at Brand Builders, and they will dive into your specific goals for how you want to grow your personal brand. I can't wait to hear how it goes. Guy reached out to me to kind of mentor him. It's much younger than me, early 30s. And what's crazy is how much I'm learning from him.
Yeah.
He thinks he's learning all this from me, and I'm sitting over here going, man, what a joy this is to be able to share my wisdom, but then to learn what their perspective is, and young dad and all these. I'm just like, man, this is what an opportunity. So for those guys that are listening, you have done some things, be the mentor, say yes to the people. You never know what you're going to learn on the other side as you pick them. So peace there. Well, dude, you mentioned this before we started the call, and then you said the word a minute ago, social media. I think Gary Vaynerchuk's come out lately and said social media is dead and it's attention media, and there's this whole debate what's happening. I would love your perspective, right? I mean, because you see this on multiple fronts.
I have strong thoughts that are very conflicting on the future of social media. Okay. One frame of thought is what Gary V, and I've actually even heard Andy Frisella say this as well, that AI content in general and social media is essentially becoming like a slot bucket because no one's themselves anymore. No one's genuine. There's shortcuts around everything, blah, 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 blah. Social media is going to die. I see that. I see it now in my feed where I'm like, I'm annoyed with this. Like, I'm seeing like the same shit, and I'm like, man, like, and I'm annoyed with it. So that's one thought process here is that it's going to get so convoluted. The effort to create content right now has never been easier. I mean, like I even shared with you, like, I've got an AI agent that can write Chance Weber better than I can write it. Like, it's like literally me, you know what I mean? And I use that. But it is me. It's not just going on to Chat GPT and saying, please write me a social media post about this. Like, that's where shit gets really bad. But anyway, there's that side of the fence. It's like, hey, this has become kind of just way too low of a barrier of entry. Anybody can spin up anything and it's going to die because nobody wants to see this stuff. The other side of the fence is this. We are undoubtedly, unquestionably heading into a world of artificial intelligence, automation, and it is going to completely change society at a way that nobody that is living on this earth right now, probably 1% of our population can actually understand the magnitude of what is coming. And we are headed to a world where human to human relationships, the pendulum is swinging further away from it than it ever has before. And what I foresee happening is people are going to want to understand the person that they're working with more than ever. And people do their homework. I actually interviewed a lady 2 weeks ago. This woman knew more about me than I think I did. She knew my family. She knew my wife. She knew my kids' names. It was almost kind of creepy, but all she had done is her homework to be as most prepared for that interview as she possibly could. And I think that when you look at business and people doing, I've always said people do business with people. I don't think that's ever going to change. I think how we do business is going to change with the rise of AI. But I think that having that personal brand is somebody that people can go see. And this is where I think written content is going to become less important, but video content is going to become more important. That's real, not an AI generated video, but actually you, because that is how we're going to be able to filter people in a world that is going to get very crowded, where anybody can be a master of any. And we've all said the same stories. A 25-year-old kid that rents a Lambo, pops the door, and acts like he's a multimillionaire. We've been making fun of these people and these coaches and things like this for as long as I can remember. But now it's so easy to do that. I mean, dude, I could sit on a curb and then put myself into a Lambo. You don't even have to rent the damn thing anymore. Like AI will put you in the car. So, I think that true, really true, authentic content is going to be a game changer for business people in the future, because that is what we are going to be searching for, is legitimate credibility in people. So that is what makes me think it will not die. Yeah. Right. That's what makes me think, because it's going to arguably become more important than ever to actually have a personal brand, so people know that they're getting the person that they want to get. You know what I mean? So, but I see it both ways. But yeah, man, in my opinion, if I have to lean one way or the other, I think that it's going to change. I think the environment's going to change. I think what works is going to change. But I would have to lean towards the latter on this. And I think it's going to become more vital than ever. And I would like to see some of these organic algorithms on, Meta and Instagram and LinkedIn and all these things, really put more priority into real, legitimate, especially video content. And I hope that happens sooner than later.
Yeah. I hope they promote it. And I think back to, as you're sharing that, I'm kind of like you. I'm still curious. I'm still observing. I'm still seeing patterns. Like, what am I leaning towards? What content am I swiping past? What do I enjoy? What are people giving me feedback? And they go, hey, man, I really loved that video. And it is back to some of the simple things and life lessons. And then, of course, in mortgage, like sharing stories and things that we know to be true. I would love your take on this one. Is if somebody is, financial services or real estate or mortgage, and that's a large part of our audiences, what kind of content should they be thinking about creating to be relatable, to establish credibility? Because there's a lot of debates on this too, right? And I love people's perspectives of what would you be doing if you were advising somebody in that space?
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't know the compliance in your world as much as I used to. And I know that, especially I know that for financial services in general, it can get real sticky for those guys of what they can say and can't say. But I actually talked about this. It's funny you brought up Ben Newman's event out there in Vegas. I actually talked about this a little bit, because I think there was a guy there like Tom Wall that I think I met before. I think that's his name.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm like, you guys should go watch him. He doesn't have some big following, but he's in that financial services space and he is putting out content. Now, what does compliance look like and all that? I don't know. You guys need to understand what you can and can't do legally. You don't want to get yourself in trouble, but I think that there's a couple of pieces of that. Number one, it's who is the man as a man. Right. So it's not all about, if I'm a financial advisor, it's not all about talking about how I'm the best financial advisor or bringing different strategies and putting that content out there and things like that. That's most certainly a part of it, because you want to establish yourself as an expert and somebody that can be trusted, that provides value. But I also think, who is the man? Who is the actual man? What does he like? What does he care about? Who is he? What's his character? You know what I mean? Even you, man, I don't know you that well, but when I watch your content, I'm like, dude, this guy's awesome. I just look at you, I'm like, this guy, he works his ass off, he works out, he's got a good family life, and that is a persona of you that I see on social media. And that makes me gravitate towards you, because I like to be that same person, and it makes me gravitate towards you. It makes me align with you. It makes me just trust you subconsciously. You know what I mean? So I think it's not all about, hey, this is the best tax strategy, or, this is the best way to sell homes, or, whatever. I think it's also who are you as a person? And I think that is a big piece of it. And I think as social media evolves, like I said, kind of referring to what I did originally, people are going to crave the man, if that makes sense. They're going to crave who that person is that they're going to be doing business with, and knowing that I'm getting the real you, not AI spun content shit that's all over the place. And I think that's going to be a big piece of it.
Dude, I love that. And we've started leaning in on video more for that very reason of, one, I needed to get better at it. And I'm like, the only way I get better at it is do some reps and put myself in front of that camera and go, okay, I'm going to talk. Even yesterday, we had a podcast that got moved in person, happened last minute. I said, well, I've got like 45 minutes to an hour. Let's just turn the camera on. Let's just roll. And we did 30 minutes and I jumped into Claude and I'd had some things worked up there. And I said, hey, based on all the things we've worked on and all these, like, I want to stay in these 4 categories. Let's start to collaborate and come up. And I just wanted a hook and a couple talking points and then just riff. And
that's awesome.
And I share this with people. I told someone yesterday, like, you did what? I was like, yeah, 25 pieces of content that are probably gonna be the most real me, because there was no preparation. It was just me talking, sharing lessons. And actually it was all from conversations. I worked to build conversations from the first quarter. What have I learned in Q1 of this year? And I was like, I'm just going to talk about that. And I only share that so people know is like, I think that's going to go a long way, because when I see written content, there's not a face. To your point, like when I see you and you're talking, I go, okay, that's Chance. He's doing this. He's doing this. It's almost like I'm there with you, as if, I mean, I know I'm not there, but this was crazy yesterday. I'd love your take on this too. Is I think people missing out on, I, for the first time, met someone I've been connected with for 5 years. Ray and I were supposed to speak on a stage, real estate event. I had a family commitment, wasn't able to make it. And I remember we joked about that because we were supposed to have met. And now 5 years later, we meet. And it feels like, I mean, I know a lot about his life. He knows about my life and my kids. And where should people lean in? Because I think people get scared about, how much do I share personally? How much do I not share? Like this whole debate, I would love your perception or take on that, and like how much you share or would advise people to become relatable.
With internet people or in your content?
I think in the content. So if they're going to start sharing these videos and we tell them to go do that and publish content and put things out there, how much, because let's be real, nobody wants to hear about all your tax strategies and mortgage advice every day. That's going to get boring quick.
Right. Yeah, for sure. No, I have strong opinions on this, and it actually came from somebody else, and I'll tell that story. But for me, man, like I am rough around the edges. Like curse words are just part of my vocabulary. Like they just are. Like even on this show so far, I've tried to be conscious of not being so over. I'm like obnoxious to people sometimes. So, but look, man, when I look at people that I've worked with, and I've worked with over 1,000 businesses easily in my 15 years, the people that compliment, I just got a closed a proposal yesterday from, it was 12 locations, medical facilities down in San Antonio. It was a roughly like $1.1 million deal that I closed yesterday in revenue straight into my company, which is crazy because, dude, all I ever wanted to do was have a company that did $1 million a year in revenue. And I just closed one deal that did that yesterday. But you know why I won it? There were 6 people on the board of these 2 companies, and they were all there. Very intelligent, very successful, very, very successful people. And I was competing against 6 other marketing agencies, and I won it.
Wow.
I had the least flamboyant proposal. I had the most black and white delivery possible. And when they came to me and told me that they were moving forward with me, it was because I was the most transparent dude that just told it how it was. And I was accountable, and I told them that they were accountable for some of it not working. And like, I just was who I was, and I didn't sugarcoat anything. I cussed. I was who I was. And I just, because here's my thing, man. And this comes back to my story. I in an Arete syndicate event, this was probably year 1 when it was a syndicate and there was 62 of us in that. I remember drinking a beer with Andy Frisilla and talking about content. There were several of us there. It wasn't just him and I. And he, anybody that knows or follows him, he's one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Polarizing, probably figures on social media. Like people literally hate him. Like there's like, they want to kill him. And then there's the people that would literally go to war for him. Right.
That's right.
And he said something to me, which comes back to answer your question full circle here. It was, hey man, here's what you have to understand. Cause I was talking to him about how I hate content. I hate cameras. I hate everything. And I hadn't even really focused on a personal brand at all back then. I was like, I had no presence, no following. And I was like, I hate this shit, man. Like I hate doing it. He's like, I hate it too. And I'm like, but you do it all the time. And he's like, here's what I had to get over. He's like, here's the thing you have to understand. In the world, 50% of people are going to hate you, or at least not like you. 50%. And 50% are going to love you, or at least like you. Right. And he's like, who do you want to focus your time and energy on? The 50% of the people that are never going to buy from you, that think you're an asshole, a fraud, whatever anybody wants to say about you, you know, you're fake, whatever. Or are you going to worry about the 50% of the people that are like, man, I like that guy. Like, he's different. Like, maybe I should talk to him. Who do you want to focus your time and energy on? So for me, to answer your question, be exactly who you are. Because there are people out there that are going to like you for exactly who you are. And there are going to be people out there that are never going to like you for who you are. And you get to choose what you want to do and focus on. So it's about being as real and open and as honest as you possibly can, and not giving a shit about what anybody is going to think or say about you. And that was really hard for me. And I still fight it sometimes. I still have that voice in my head. I'm like, dude, like, man, was that like too abrasive? Like, you know, like, but then I'm like, you know what, man, that's who I am and that's how I feel. And if I lose some followers and people don't like me, that's okay. We'll open the door for some new ones. You just got to let go of that. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough not to be insecure about things. We all are to an extent. Everybody is, you know?
Great truth too. I love that you share that too, because I think it'll give people in a way like permission, but also a blueprint of, if you look at the people that are successful with it, meaning not only are they posting consistently and doing all that stuff, but they actually have results behind it, and people that would go to war for them. You know, we used to call it raving fans, you know, great term for those. Like, you create those. And so I had this funny encounter the other day. One of our competitors, another mortgage company, reached out to me and he's like, man, I know you probably get a lot of shade and a lot of hate for posting all your workout videos. And you know, you post them all the time. He goes, man, but I've lost all this weight. And I just want to tell you, like, it's really inspired me. And you're the most consistent dude I've ever seen in our industry. And I know that's why you've had great results in the mortgage space. And, you know, he went on and said some other nice thing. I'm just thinking, hold on, there's people that make fun of my videos. Holy shit. Like, what? Like, my immediate reaction was that.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, Brian. Here's what you got to understand. This is the world that we live in. And this is the God's honest truth. Everybody's a hater. When you look at society, everybody talks shit. They're hating on you for your workout videos or whatever else. But what nobody ever does is what he did. That's so rare, is to go to someone. Now, I'm sure when you're at a certain level of hierarchy, like we just used Andy. I'll just use Andy as an example. I'm sure he gets hundreds of DMs a day. Dude's got millions and millions of followers across all the platforms that are like, you've changed my life. Thank you. But guys like us, like, we don't get that as much. But what I have to remind myself of, and what I would tell you is he's the one guy that came and said that to you. I said it to you today in this platform. There's probably 200 of him or I's out there that never say that to you. Yeah. So it's like, you might have went, oh shit, there's people that make fun of my content. Yeah, dude, there are. I can tell you right now, there 100% are, you know, but again, do we care about them? And also keep in mind that the one guy that tells you how much you've helped them, because I get these every now and then, I'm like, man, like, that just absolutely warmed my heart. Like, thank you so much for sharing that. But for the one person that shares you with that, there's hundreds of other ones that feel the exact same way and think the same way. We just don't get the validation for people because that's not what they do. You know, so you can't, you know, it's all about perspective and how, and at your attitude of how you want to approach this stuff, you know, glass half full, glass half empty stuff.
That's it. I'm glad you shared that too, because that's where my brain defaulted one way. And then I was reminded back the other way with a friend of mine. He's like, yeah, people don't send that, especially guys, especially dudes.
No, hell no.
They don't want to send that message. And so I did thank him. And for everybody listening, just think about that as like, there's the people, that avatar you're serving, and those people that you're helping with the problems. And you may not hear it all the time, but it was just affirmation of, okay, like, I share it because it's fun for me. It gives my kids stuff to, like, you know, we just document that stuff and have fun. And And I think it's part of learning, and I've seen your growth too. You're talking about before we went live, like you're in the season of putting in 18-hour days and just grinding, and AI is changing at the most rapid pace I've ever seen anything change. And so I'd love to know, how are you keeping up with that? And what are you doing in the season of, you talk about this big contract you signed, and it feels like this balancing act of, hold on, I got to go check on this, but then I got to run a business and I got to go prospect over here. It's noisy for a lot of us.
Very noisy right now.
How are you navigating?
Yeah. First of all, man, I don't know how well that I am. I have been in, dude, full transparency, I don't do podcasts anymore. I don't do them. I'm going to go, quote unquote, back on the road here the second half of 2026, but I stopped doing speaking engagements. I stopped doing podcasts, which kind of ties back to what you said earlier. Like, I've just respected you as a man. And when you reached out, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Because I don't do these anymore. So what I'm about to share, I don't know if I've shared this anywhere, maybe a little bit on my content. I switched personal branding agencies that'll start helping me. Some of this will come out soon, but man, the last like 6 months have been arguably 6 of the darkest months I've been through in my 15 years in business. Because I let fear get to me, kind of what I kicked off this call with. But I think that marketing agencies, digital marketing agencies that I have spent 15 years of my life building, a multi-million-dollar company. My wife doesn't work. My kids go to private school. I got $1 million in vehicles. I travel the world. I fly private sometimes. So, man, I've got it all from the outside. Right. Yeah. And I'm proud of that. And it's been awesome. But I truly feel like if I don't drastically pivot my business in the next 2 to 3 years, I won't have one. I'm going to lose everything. Absolutely everything. So I have went all in on AI. My process started in October of 2024, and I am building models, agents, platforms right now. I have full-time AI engineers on my team. I have went all in. My soul hates AI. I absolutely hate it, because I think that, and I'm not going to get too doom and gloom, but I personally think within the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see the second Great Depression, not a recession, the second Great Depression. I think we'll have 100 million unemployed Americans that are employed right now that will default on mortgages, that will default on car loans, that will default on credit cards. And it's not just going to be like 07, 08, where the government can just go bail a bank out, because the people aren't going to be able to afford anything. And I truly think that we could be looking at universal income and socialism within the next 5 years. And that just absolutely scares the hell out of me. This country was built on capitalism. Yeah. So I am trying to prepare myself, and I've pivoted my company drastically and went all in on AI because I see what it does. Man, right now, like, I have an AI agent. I'm still working on it. I just hired a guy to come in. He actually starts with me this afternoon. I can text this AI agent. It can build a video for me of me that is me, with my voice, me talking the way I talk. It's got thousands and thousands of pages of content on me. It can create a video with a text message. I can literally send it a text message. It can create that video, build out a landing page and an entire website to support it in 5 to 6 minutes.
Wow.
With a text message. With a text message. Okay. People don't understand, like, people are using ChatGPT to ask it a question and get an answer fast. That's great. People have no clue of where this is. This is what I say, like, there's probably 1% of our population that actually understands the leverage that is coming and the crazy times that are coming. But yeah, man, like, a few minutes. So just to give you an idea, that might have taken 50 hours of labor 3 years ago. Yeah. It's 5 minutes.
Expensive too.
Oh, very expensive. You know what that would cost me to do? Probably $3, maybe $4. And this is here right now. And dude, we have not even scratched the surface of what AI is going to do. So it's a wild time. I got off track. What was your damn question? I didn't even know.
No, that answers part of it. I want to go deeper, because people are probably like, okay, Chance, what is this? What AI tools are you actually implementing and using? And would you say people need to use? Because I think a lot of them, they're on the basic versions, or, ChatGPT, Claude, all these, just, the entry level.
Yeah. Let me say this first and foremost. If anybody's using ChatGPT, get rid of it right now. There is literally a way to export any history that you have in ChatGPT into Claude. Like, Google it. It's out there.
Yeah.
Get Claude. Claude is 1A, 1B, and 1C right now. Yeah. There is nothing else that's even close. I'd put Gemini 2, Grok 3. I honestly, man, I don't even have ChatGPT anymore. I don't even have the free version. It's such trash in comparison. Like, people think it's so great. They haven't tried anything else. Like, it's so bad. Now, will that change? Maybe, but they were the first to market. There's still people all over that think that AI is ChatGPT. Like, they think that's what AI is. It's just ChatGPT. So get rid of ChatGPT would be the first thing I would say. But as far as what I'm building, man, I was trying to get too technical. But like, I'm building out a full entire operational marketing platform that anybody will be able to essentially license and use. I've basically taken a digital marketing agency and put it into a platform. You need an agent to run your Google ads? It's in there. You need an agent to run your Meta ads? It's in there. You need an agent to do SEO optimizations, technical audits, SEO audits, post content. It's in there. All push of the button. Everything can be done. Landing pages can be built in a matter of seconds. Like, these things, like, it's literally an agency killer. It's a marketing agency killer. Now, with that being said, it's just like anything else. You can buy this tool of mine or anybody else. To my knowledge, nobody has built this yet. I am by no means sitting here right now saying that I have something nobody else can build, will build, isn't building. I just haven't found one. But I will say this, you still have to do the work. And I'm going to sell this as a SaaS product, and people will be able to just buy it, which is everything in my 15 years of an agency built into automation and AI agents. Yeah. So this isn't some spun up shit product. This is literally protocols and SOPs out of my 15-year multi-million-dollar agency that I built AI agents and automations to do. So we will be using this internally. Now, do you get super high level strategy like human beings can do? No. If you buy it, on a DIY kind of basis, you're going to have to figure that stuff out. So, we're going to 3 layers in the offering. It's going to be DIY, DWI. So like, do it yourself, done with you, and then DFY is done for you, which is essentially what we do as an agency right now. But we're overhauling all of this in the next 60 days. I'm at the finish line, finally, close to it.
So cool.
Yeah, man. It's I felt as though if I didn't make this pivot and go down this road, that I legitimately can tell you, like, I might lose everything. And I'm thankful to have great money guys, and I feel like I'm really protected, and I've got a lot of assets and investments and things like that. But I've had a really strong income for a long time now, and just losing that is kind of scary. So I think this is the future of marketing agencies, and I've hired several consultants. Like Dennis Yu comes to mind. I don't know if you follow Dennis Yu at all.
Yes, yeah.
I had several calls with Dennis over the last month, and I think this is where marketing agencies are going. Is they're going to have to become a service-based business with like their own IP, essentially, like their own kind of mini SaaS product that, used to be a, 30-person company is now going to be six operators with AI agents, I think that's the future of a lot of businesses. And I think that is the future in the business that you are in as well. I think that it is the future of everybody should be on guard right now. And if you're not, you're about to get your ass run over. And it's going to happen a lot faster than you think. This is not like, the next 10 years. You should be worried about this happening the next 10 months. And I'm not saying it's going to happen the next 10 months, but like, this is not a next decade thing. No. This is the next 2-3 year thing. So we're all walking a fine line right now, man, of there's so much shit product that's out there. Everybody is speed to market. Look at my AI tool that'll run Meta ads. And then I'm like, great, I don't want to build it. Let me buy it. And I buy it. It's trash. Like, it's absolute trash, because everybody's just like speed to market. There's no quality. There's no quality control. We talked about this before we started the call. The barrier to entry to build things with AI right now is relatively zero. Claude Code can build like an app in a couple hours. It's like, it's wild, the world we live in. But you got to have quality control. And the one thing you and I were talking about is so many people want to go do this shit, and that's great. Your barrier to entry has never been lower, but do you know how to scale it? Do you know how to do marketing? Do you know how to sell it? Do you have any fun for advertising? Like, you could have the best product in the world. How are you going to sell it and monetize it? That's a whole nother level. That goes from being able to build an app in 3 hours and becoming a legitimate entrepreneur. It's a different animal. So
different game.
It is a different game.
And I love these conversations because it gets people thinking. It gets me thinking about, okay, where are we? What do we need to think about? And in mortgage, we're talking about a lot of these same issues and challenges that are going to happen before people are ready and they know what's there. And we're already seeing it. And I think some of the kind of sideline pent up acquisition demand, I think same thing. If some companies are going to figure it out sooner than others, and it's going to be like, you're pretty much out of business. You're going to need to get acquired and sell or go out of business. And think about our world. I'd love your advice or insights, taking all the things that you've seen. You've done recruiting before. So I always think about recruiting and business development for people that are in that space and they want to market themselves properly or do things. Are there trends or things they should be doing today to really properly recruit, properly do business development, given all the tools and some of the stuff we've talked about today? Like what would you be advising or doing if you were recruiting into our industry or looking to expand your business, market, business development?
Yeah. I mean, as far as recruiting into your industry, man, I just don't know if I'm educated enough, but I will tell you this, and man, this might be a terrible thing to say on your show, but I think, your standard loan officer is in trouble. I think that a lot of, what does a loan officer do at the end of the day? I mean, dude, I just had an interview with somebody today. What does she do? Yeah. She's a loan officer for US Bank. Okay. I interviewed her and we were talking about her, and I flat out told her, I said, I don't think you're going to have a job in 5 years, just so you know. Because here's what's going to happen, man. There's still going to need to be a human being, right? But you're going to have a loan officer or a manager of loan officers, and one person is now going to have the efficiency of 20 loan officers. Okay. So to give you an idea, Brian, I have 3 AI engineers on my team. They're full-time AI engineers. Do you know how many AI agents I have built? Almost 35.
Wow.
Now that's 35. That's 35 employees. Now think about that. Those AI agents are doing what an employee does. So I'm paying 3 people to do what would be 38 people.
Wow.
And we're not done, right? So I've got 3 salaries instead of 38 salaries. When I'm all said and done, we'll have over 50, pushing 60. Okay. That 3 people have built, run, and handle on a day-to-day basis. So I don't know how to tell you people that are recruiting into the mortgage industry because I don't know enough about the business. But here's what people got to understand. Like, people get pissed about this and they're like, well, you're just going to replace us with AI agents and blah, blah, blah. I get it. But what people have to understand is, as business owners, what is our number one responsibility? Profit. That is what we're in business for, is to make the most profitable company that we can, because profit is how we hire more people. Profit is how we grow and scale. Profit is how we invest more in marketing. It all comes down to profit, right? So, I can't tell you exactly what I think in your business because I'm not knowledgeable enough, but I do think that the companies that don't adapt are going to get crushed. And I will also say this, you made a great point. Acquisition, private equity, blah, 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 blah. Brokers want to buy these guys and everyone else. Here's what I would challenge you to do, okay? If I'm some big broker or private equity and I come to you and I'm like, Brian, I want to buy your business, okay? You're going to have a valuation that's right here with how you are right now. If you have a full AI implementation built, your valuation is going to go here.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
And it's not just you getting more profitable. It's getting your people and your team to know how to use it and creating tools that they can use that makes them more efficient, right? Because it's not like all loan officers are going to die. I'm not saying that. No. I'm saying that one guy is going to be able to do what 5, 10, 15, 20 guys would have done historically. Now one guy is going to be able to do all that.
Yeah.
So, how's it going to change? How fast? These industries that have major regulations like you're in and financial services and things like that, it's going to be delayed by default. It just is for compliance reasons. But man, I would recommend, first of all, if you're not heavily using AI, start using it every single day. Single day. Use it, ask it questions, tell it what you do. I'm a loan officer. This is what I do. This is how my day looks like. How can you help me? Like, you're like, I don't know where to start. Ask it where to start. Ask the damn AI where to start. It'll tell you where to start. You know what I mean? And then you can start learning it, but it's just going to be a superhuman tool. Like, when I think so many people are so scared to put that they'd use AI on a resume because our society is, there's still portion of our society that thinks it's like cheating and you're not doing the actual work. I don't give a shit. Is it done right? That's all I care about. I don't care if you do it or Claude does it. Is it good? Because that's all I care about. It's the output,
Yes.
But I've looked like when I see a resume that puts it on there now, I'm like, dude, you're getting an interview 100%. Like you're getting an interview. So, I don't know if I can directly answer your question. I did the best I could. There's just so many unknowns, but man, somebody that can use this stuff and can be innovative with it as an employee, for sure. Like you're going to have a massive leg up when it comes to people hiring you. And if you're a business owner, it's going to completely change the landscape of how you function as a business. And if you're not on this cutting edge, you will get buried. We talk about being candid and honest. I'm being candid and honest. You will get buried. You will be unemployed. You will lose your job. You will lose your company. This is here. And it's 100 times bigger than the internet, which has been the biggest societal advancement in our lifetime. This is 100 times bigger. 100 times.
We see it every day. I mean, anybody that's looking anywhere, you see it everywhere. And lots of conversations about it, but I love that. It's like just continue to learn and get educated every day. And I love the answer actually, because really just I sit back and go, all I know is it's back to what you said earlier is people still do business and trust people. And so conversations, making connections. And then I think there is this other layer that now the people that can understand AI and help people become more efficient. And what we're seeing, this one trend is very fascinating, is the big teams and the mega teams, whether it's real estate or mortgage, are just getting bigger. And the small guy, just like in society, right, is getting crushed. Yeah. And this middle almost doesn't even exist.
I mean, I don't know if it was Anthropic, who owns Claude, put out this report recently. I think it was them that said, like, I don't know what percentage of entry-level white-collar jobs will be completely gone within like a year. Yeah. Like, your 1 to 5 year white-collar job is just gone. Like they're going to be gone. So like I said, man, my soul hates it. Like I really hate it. I'm scared of it. Yeah. But there's nothing we can do about it. Government regulation is the only thing that can stop it. And that will never happen. And I'll tell you why. If Trump came out tomorrow and said, in the United States of America, we're going to govern AI and this is how it's going to look, and you guys can't do this shit anymore, right? If he came out tomorrow and said that, put a law in place. Well, is China going to do that? No. Is India going to do that? Nobody in the rest of the world is going to do it. So then we become dead in the water, right? In the most technologically advancement in the history of humankind ever, and we're dead in the water. That's why it won't happen. It can't happen because nobody else will do it. It would have to be a complete global agreement, which will not happen. It just won't. So it's like you can either, throw a pity party about it, hate it, resist it, whatever you want, or you can get on the train. But like I said, if you don't, you're going to get ran over. I truly think that will happen.
And that is the urgency. And dude, I love just your excitement and passion around it too, because I want people to hear that as it's not fear. It's not anything there, but it is a sense of, hey, if you've been waiting for whatever reason or holding out, like this is your sign to go, okay, I'm going to start to learn. I'm going to lean in on this and I'll make myself to where it's going to be really freaking hard to replace me, or I'm going to be able to shift and add value here. And that's what I'm saying is I've told people, man, I've reinvented my job. I can't tell you how many times over the last decade to go, this was it. Now this is it. And even over the last year, and I'm looking at this year going, where am I needed? Like, what value do I bring? What could I be doing? What does the team need? Like, if you're not thinking that way, guys, chances share this several times today. If you pick up on this recurring theme that it's like, you need to be adaptable. You need to figure out what's working. You need to get rid of what's not working. And there's a lot of technology right now that if you're not even spending any time with it, you get left behind. And it's not the place you want to be, because somebody somewhere is going to spend the time and be more prepared. And
they're going to eat your lunch. They're going to eat your lunch.
I hate losing.
Me too. Way more than I love winning. God, I hate
losing. God, something about a lot of the Arte guys are that way too, man. We're all, losing is not my jam. But thank you. And I know you don't do these often, and thank you for just coming on, because this was definitely a conversation I wanted to have for a while. And I was like, okay, let's get this. And I think it's very timely, and appreciate how you show up, bro. I mean that, like, as a father and a husband and all the things, and a business leader and all that, like, we are all looking to people, and we don't say it enough to say, hey man, I appreciate you for the way you do it. We're all going fast and all that. but it is one of those for anybody listening is, if you think about what we've shared today, is what an opportunity for you listening today to start showing up for someone else, to show up for that former version of yourself we talk about, and really model what winning looks like. And, we're all in some way, shape or form, learning, growing, being challenged, getting our butt kicked. Part of life, part of the journey. So appreciate you investing in community.
Feelings are mutual, man. Like I said, this is the first probably podcast I've done, and I get asked pretty much daily. This is the first one I've done in months and months. So, and again, that truly goes to how much I respect you. So feelings are mutual, man. Absolutely. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it again someday.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Ton of stuff we covered today. If anything stuck out to you or you've got questions on, reach out to me, reach out to us, and let's help guide you, because just like we shared, is that mentor or that person that can guide you, maybe just take that one next step that you need to take that you've been holding back on. Let us help you. That's why we started the podcast, to bring great people, great information to you, and actually just cut through a lot of the noise that's out there and help you win more. I believe if we do that, man, we create a really cool community and a society that when we're helping each other, it's pretty cool how that comes back full circle and you feel like, okay, now I'm part of something bigger than just what I'm doing myself. So drop us a review, 5 stars, leave us a comment, something that's there, or DM us. We'll have all the Chance's information so you can reach out. Make sure you connect up with him if you've not already. And guys, go out there, do something great, man. We've given you some information. We've given you some tactics that you can go implement. The biggest thing that we love is when people actually go take action and you start to win more, and then you help other people. So go out there and do that. Catch you in the next episode. See ya.